young folks? What kind of initiatives do you anticipate maybe pushing forward for our young people? I guess this kind of follows on the education question, but is there something that Powder Springs can do, and if so, what? So I think we'll start with our mayoral candidates, if y'all would like to respond to that question.
Great question. I grew up being able to go to a Boys and Girls Club. I stayed very involved in sports and in music. And that's one thing that we are lacking here at Powder Springs, is something for our young people to do after school. And you know what happens with idle hands, right? And so there is no question that we could use more funding, more places for them to thrive. And having 25 years in business, I have a great network, and some of them are in the entertainment business. And I know that I can bring some of them here, and let's use our beautiful Performing Arts Center to do a Powder Springs The Voice, or So You Think You Can Dance Powder Springs. Things that would then tap into the arts, and that's a great thing that Powder Springs Elementary is doing, is they're integrating arts into their learning. And then we could follow this up with, programs after school, and there's millions of dollars available in funding just for things like this. We have just got to go out and get it, and so that then we don't lose our children to the system or to the streets or to anything else. Thank you.
Well, being in city government for a while, I can tell you the money's not that easy to find. It's out there, but usually they want to match and take some tax dollars. And we're working on it, but it's not. It's really hard to find, especially with the recession that's been available. The money's starting to loosen up a little bit. But one thing we do have, we have one of the best youth associations at the city park. They have hundreds to 1,000 kids who play ball down there. It's a great outreach, not just for the city, but for the citizens around the community we were talking about a few minutes ago. Like Mr. Thurman mentioned, there's the Ron Anderson building. Most of our schools have excellent after-school programs. It may not be the best choice, but these teachers put their time in, and they really, the kids seem to enjoy it, have a good time, and learn during that time. So we have some activities, and yes, we can do better, and we'll try to grow as we go.
It's interesting that you would mention that. We just had a conversation with Cobb Works, trying to bring a work program for our school, for our children in the summertime. And we met with the mayor and Cobb Works and our city manager to talk about creating a satellite program in Powder Springs. The problem has been is that in order for our children to participate in Cobb Works, they have to get to Marietta. And that's an issue with parents trying to go to work, drop them off, pick them up. So the conversation went that we talked to them about seeing what could we do to open up a satellite office here. They believe that's something doable. We talked about it, and we think that we can get this off the ground. This is a federal program. It is from 16 to 25. They will follow the kids all the way through to that age. And all we have to do, basically, the city is to create the jobs. Cobb Works will pay their salaries. They will act as an apprentice. They will learn skills and jobs. And this is just something we have to follow through on. And I think we can make this work. And this is something we already have in play. We just need to follow through on it. Thanks so much.
You looked as if you wanted to say something. That's why you wanted to go?
Yes, thank you. And on my little blue card, you'll see that I'm in favor of a summer youth cleanup program. And I've got experience with this years back in another state when I worked with the mosquito abatement district, and we hired young persons, some of them like you see standing around the rooms here, to do cleanup work, because that helped reduce the larvae, for mosquitoes. I don't want to get too technical, but that's what we could do. We could have an 8-week program. We're not going to have the inmates cleaning up the city anymore. cutting the grass out here or something. So, you know, we can do this. It's not going to cost a fortune. I mean, if we could spend $500,000, $750,000 on a house to become a museum, we could sure spend a little bit of money here on our kids. I'm asked this, or we are asked this every year I served on the council and before. What are you going to do for the kids here in the summer? Well, here's a perfect program that helps everybody out. Get the grass cut, get the junk cleaned up, help the kids earn a little money for the summer. We could probably even push a little civics program in for them since they don't teach it at school anymore. And so that's a positive thing, and it could lead right into what Al is talking about. The county would see that, yes, we're on the ball and we're doing something like this, so then we could extend that to older persons. This would be mostly for people 16 to 18 or so. That's my idea.
I would just add to that, of course, my wife has always given me her great ideas. She's got a fantastic idea of how to use the art center, which is to create a theater company here, like a little theater kind of thing, and include the school kids in that, the young people. And she has, once she gave me the idea, she was already out recruiting people for it. So I think that would be a fantastic idea. I know with Chief Robinson, you know, he works with the Explorers, and they're doing a lot of outreach with the youth in the city, and I think that he's got some great ideas that we could pursue with the Explorer program too. Thanks.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'll just detail what everyone else said in terms of programs, but I would like to add, don't forget our special needs children. This summer I had an experience when my grandchildren were here with me, and I was looking all over Powder Springs for, for services. I have one grandchild who's 5 years old, and the other grandchild who's 8 with special needs. And we went to the Ron Anderson Center, and they said they had nothing for the 5-year-old because he was too young to come to the program, and they had nothing for children with special needs. I would like to see that corrected in any activities we have for youth, and I would encourage us not to forget our special needs children in planning for any kinds of work in the summer and activities that they can do and participate in. Many of them can be mainstream and fitted with other children. They don't necessarily have to be singled off by themselves. So I would just like to make sure that our programs would include that, because thus far, this has not occurred, and Ron Anderson, of course, is a beautiful center. There's some planning with Cobb County that we need to do to make sure this occurs.
If briefly we could just follow up on the youth question with those candidates who are currently serving in some capacity in city government, is it not possible to redirect some money that is already coming into the city to help support some of the programs that many of you have espoused? Mr. Thurman, microphone.
The short answer is yes. There is money available. If we can spend, the city just allocated $50,000 for landscaping at the new museum that's being built. We've already spent $750,000 on a 100-year-old house. So the short answer is yes, there's money.
What I can tell you is in all the time in the last 4 years, I don't think we've had a single program come and ask us for the money. We need these ideas. If you have the ideas in the community, come to us. I mean, currently in our budget, there is $700,000 of unrestricted one-time use money. We could put that to use, but if we don't know about the projects, and we do have the explorers that we support and some other programs. But, the biggest things we need ideas. So if you have ideas, come to the city and let us know. And we can help, we will.